Hey, Maria Cullimore here. Thought I would share again about how I learned to accept or not to accept shame. Now, we have learned our whole lives, and please don't even bother to blame your parents. It's all they knew. It's all the ones before them knew. Was there were some rules and you had to follow them, and you had to stay within a certain line, and everything was black or white, and there was a lot of gray, and So we have been taught to abuse ourselves, criticize ourselves. There's always something wrong with us. We don't really spend enough time going, how much is right with us? And in that process, we are cruel to ourselves. We are mean and dictatorial. We say awful things about ourselves, and we believe awful things about ourselves. And then the thing about judgment, and this is why we had discussed judgment, is when you use words of judgment, then when you can't live up to them, there is shame. So judgment leads to more shame. And or what you've been taught, old taught beliefs. And you really have to go through your belief system and check, is this true for me? Does this still apply to me? Because there are many systems that you might find doesn't serve you. It's like yesterday we were having a discussion about having a baby out of wedlock and having a baby within wedlock. And for my mother was like, no, you can't have a child out of wedlock. It would be a bastard child. No, it's just a word. It's a word someone taught her. It's a word, and with it, they taught her all the venom that goes with it. So in her belief system, to break that law or to do that is shameful. But for the rest, the girls, like my daughter, my nieces were there, and they were like, Granny, that's archaic thinking. Like, she's allowed to have a baby with who she wants. And they don't have to be married to be good people or bad people, or it doesn't affect the baby. And it was amazing because in my mother's belief system, it was one thing, and their belief system, it was another. So our belief system drives our shame. We need to take that back and own it and understand it from the point of view of, when you feel shame, a good thing to do would be to introspect. What is my belief system on this issue? I've heard a girlfriend of mine say she don't let her husband to just come upon her and play he want to have sex with them vets because she's not a whore. And I said, why would you use words like that? So if a man and a woman have sex despite she is in a bad mood, she would be a whore? What are you saying about yourself? Why would you say that? Why would you put that pressure on yourself? A man and a woman having sex, two separate things. To them might have had a disagreement. Might have had a disagreement on one thing, but it doesn't appeal across the board that you should be vexed with him on every issue. But again, she held that word with such shame, it caused the reaction. So you have to check what's causing this reaction. What's causing the shame? Isn't that people shame you? It is how you see that word, that incident, that thing that causes you then to feel shame because you've judged it on some level. You've been taught to judge it on some level, or you think it's it doesn't go, or it's a bad thing or a good thing, which is another judgment. So, first of all, one of the hardest lessons for me to understand was people aren't good or bad. People are mixed. People aren't dumb. People aren't dumb. None of them. That's their operating procedure, or what they've been exposed to, or what their interest is. People aren't dumb. So somebody who doesn't think like me isn't dumb. They are just somebody who comes from a different world, has different experiences, and views this topic differently. That was really hard for me. Now I want you to know, I literally only realized this somewhere around 36. I went to a class with my coach. And he said it, and I stopped the whole session. What are you saying? What are you saying? What? People are actually dumb? Because all my life, I've called people dumb and felt very validated with it. So, what are you telling me? Anyway, turns out people are actually dumb. They're different. They have a different view. They have a different understanding. But it isn't because they're dumb. And the more you understand that, and for me, what helped was, when I understood that, I also understood the value that God places in each of us, for those who don't believe in God. It still means, however each of these seeds put together, or whoever did it, or if anybody ever did it, or to just come together randomly, they still are quite valued. And so, when you recognize the value of these things, when you recognize the value of just taking a step back and understanding, what is my view on this? I might have a view that I don't need to keep. I might have a view that when I look at it, it may be a societal view, but it's not my experience. We can take on shame for a ton of things that we are not even responsible for. We can be shamed because of how our mother behaves. We can be shamed because of how our partner behaves. But it's their behavior. Why would you own it? Because you probably knew you had an opinion of someone who behaved like that before. But no, but guess what? All of us are asses. As much as all of us are brilliant, all of us are also asses. All of us have bad days. All of us get like shit sometimes. Over entitled, annoying. All of us. One isn't better than the next. We're human. We're having an experience. So that brings me to the other part of shame. One of the things I want people to do is to go easy on themselves. This human life did not actually come with a book, a manual, and it doesn't have a crash course. We are feeling it out. Hence, I'm a personal development coach who has felt out a little bit more. I probably worked with some kinks, but the whole set, I still don't get. Okay? Each of us are in that same boat. There's always a top. There's always more. There is always more. This doesn't have a brim. It just keeps going. It's parallel to whatever the next line is. And depending on which line you're standing on, you're up, down, high, low, whatever. If you've ever done the wheel of life, you'll see there's some parts of your life that are really crappy. But then there's some parts that are absolutely phenomenal. So, sometimes we have shame about new experiences because you had a predetermined vision of yourself. All you have is your reality, the now. Doesn't matter where you think you should be. What matters is, how am I in my now? There can't be shame for new experiences you didn't know how you would behave. The first time I threw rocks at a man, I was so ashamed of myself. And then I realized, okay, you've clearly never been that frustrated with someone. Or did you understand how much you were trying to control this next individual? And once I'd come to grips with, it's not your job to control another individual, I could get over, but it was a growth spurt I needed to go through. I can't go around controlling individuals. But listen, I want you to know that battle continued for a long time. I'm still having that battle. I'm still trying to control people, especially the ones that live in my house. Anyway, but the point is, I am supposed to manage this individual. And the reason we spend so much time projecting outward our shame, our guilt, our things, is because we're terrified of focusing it inward and finding out what we are. But from the time you do, you're going to find out you're pretty awesome. And if you cut you some slack, you'll start to see that what you are is a constant growing, ever, I know I use this word a lot, organic being. And it's okay. It is okay to make mistakes. It is okay to get things wrong. It is okay to get on like a shirt. And just accept this is in my moment. This is my moment. I try now, right? To stop myself from experiencing shame. I try never to use superlatives. Never. I will never do that. Or I try very hard. It's a learning curve. Because it's not true. There's nowhere to put never and always. And in reality, I have no idea how to react to something until the experience is in front of me. When I'm logical, it's like relationships, you know. I'm great with relationship advice. But in practice, I have about two micro me's, two micro probably in terms of my level of patience. What you doing? So understanding, knowing something and understanding it and mastering it is two different things. But you can't get to mastering if you don't even acknowledge it and then work through the kinks. So cut yourself some slack. Cut the shame. Stop being shame over things. And the things that you are shame, go back and work out your belief system. Do you really need to be shame about that? Like, doesn't everybody do that? It's like farting in public. We get really shamed over it. Yeah, everybody does it. And we act as though it is some atrocity. It isn't. It's gas. Get over it. I'm just saying. That's just by the way. Anyway, have an absolutely awesome day today. And cut yourself some slack. Have a good time with you. All right? All right, I'm Mary Cullimore. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share. I'm grateful for all of it. And have a great